Hi, movie summary here. Today I'm going to explain a horror movie called Azrael. In this film, a strange event occurs. People do not talk to each other because anyone who makes a sound is killed by a terrifying monster. But who is this monster, and why is this happening? In this story, we will find out. The film begins in a world that has survived a major catastrophe where only a few people are alive. We see a girl, Azrael, in the forest, picking a flower from a plant. Suddenly, a strange sound breaks the silence of the forest, which startles her. At that moment, Azrael notices her friend sitting by a fire. She quickly extinguishes the fire and signals him to stay quiet because in this forest, even the smallest sound signals death. The monster can hear every sound, comes toward it, and kills the person who made it. They both sit quietly and spend some time together. Then Azrael gives her friend something made of flowers that she had crafted, but suddenly they hear another sound, which makes them alert. They try to hide, but they realize that there is someone else in the forest besides them. Azrael's friend moves forward to investigate the source of the sound, but does not return. Then Azrael realizes that something has happened to her friend. She quickly runs away from there. While running, Azrael encounters a man who grabs hold of her. At that moment, Azrael realizes that her friend has also been captured by someone. Both of them are placed in separate vehicles and taken far away. Azrael tries to escape from the car, but she is unsuccessful. Then the vehicles split in different directions. Azrael is taken to an unknown place where she is tied up. Some people are already there. One of them is a girl named Josephine who stabs Azrael in the leg with a knife, causing her to bleed. Afterward, they move a short distance away and begin chanting some incantations. Seeing this, Azrael realizes that they are members of a cult, a group of sorcerers who worship Satan. Soon, Azrael sees a demon whose body appears burned. Upon seeing this, Azrael desperately tries to break free from her bindings and finally succeeds. Before she can escape, however, she runs away. A boy from the cult catches Azrael and attempts to tie her up again, but she grabs a piece of wood and thrusts it into his throat, causing him to bleed. Then the demon arrives and drinks the boy's blood before devouring him. Azrael, meanwhile, manages to escape and runs away. The cult members discover that Azrael has escaped and that one of their own has been killed. Azrael runs deep into the forest. She reaches a river, washes her wounds, and bandages her leg. But just then, she sees the same burned demon approaching her. She remains completely silent and quietly hides in a nearby cave. Meanwhile, the demon searches for her and reaches the cave. Azrael does everything she can to remain quiet so that the demon cannot sense her presence. The demon fails to find her and leaves the cave. Afterward, Azrael comes out and continues on her path. She arrives in a small town where some people had been staying away from demons. They had set up a fence, a barrier, and a cage so that no one could enter. Azrael hides behind the fence and enters to find her friend and free them, as her friend had been brought here. But then she finds the flower she had made for her friend. It was here, but her friend was not, which makes her realize that her friend has died. Upon seeing this, she is filled with anger. Then a girl named Josephine arrives. She goes to check on an elderly woman who had become ill, and this woman was Josephine's mother. Afterward, Josephine goes to a church. In the church, several people from the cult were gathered, all busy worshiping the devil. As soon as Josephine enters, everyone leaves. There was also a woman in the church who was a nun and pregnant. Josephine approaches and meets the nun, and when the nun finds out that a girl named Azrael had escaped from here, she becomes very angry. She slaps Josephine and says, "You couldn't do it." Then we see that Azrael was hiding here, but suddenly a woman comes and catches her. Azrael is not scared. Instead, she fights with the woman and eventually kills her. But by that time, the others also find out that a girl named Azrael had arrived here. Now everyone becomes alert and starts searching for her because they want to capture Azrael and hand her over to the devil in order to fulfill their goal. That goal was very dangerous. Now, we will learn what it was. Meanwhile, Azrael also finds out that they are looking for her. She runs away to save her life, but her foot gets stuck in the fence. She somehow frees her foot and runs into the forest. She then heads deeper into the forest. It was nighttime and she was tired, so she stopped near a stone. However, there was a demon sitting next to the stone about to attack her. Somehow, Azrael managed to escape, but she realized that there wasn't just one demon, but many. She started running to save her life and reached a road where a man stopped his car upon seeing her. When the man got out, he saw Azrael standing silently and asked, "Who are you and why are you silent? Why aren't you speaking?" Azrael signaled him to remain quiet and got into the car. The man asked again, "Are you hungry?" But Azrael remained silent because she didn't want to talk to anyone. The man wasn't from that area, so he accidentally played loud music in the car. As a result, the cult people in the area heard it. After driving a short distance, they stood in front of the car and shot the man. This caused the car to lose control and crash into a tree. The man died, but Azrael survived and started running again. A man caught her and wouldn't let her go. He tried to stop her, but Azrael fought him. The man had a gun which Azrael took from him and shot him. She then continued forward. After going some distance, she found her friend, who was alive. However, her friend had set a trap to catch the demon. Azrael's foot got caught in the trap and she hung upside down from a tree. At that moment, a man from the cult arrived, wanting to kill both of them so he could offer them to the demon. As he moved forward, Azrael grabbed him and threw him down, injuring him. As his blood began to flow, the demon arrived, drawn by the scent of blood. The demon first licked the man's blood, then ate him. Afterward, it moved toward Azrael's friend. The demon climbed the tree and tried to eat Azrael, but she managed to free herself. However, she couldn't save her friend and the demon ate her. Seeing this, Azrael ran away, devastated by her friend's death. She now decided that she would take revenge on the cult people. She returns to the place where the cult members live, and there, she makes the sound that they often used to make. Because of this, the cult members think that their companion might be in danger, and they all head into the forest to rescue her. Taking advantage of this moment, Azrael enters their place. She then goes into the church where the sister used to stay. Azrael has a gun and aims it at the sister, but the sister reveals that she is pregnant. Hearing this, Azrael can't bring herself to shoot her, but suddenly the sister attacks her, injuring Azrael slightly. Then the cult members arrive and capture her. They put her in a coffin and bury her alive in the ground. This causes Azrael to panic. She feels like she can never get out of there. Just then, she notices a tunnel where she is bound, but the problem is that demons live in that tunnel. Azrael becomes even more afraid, but still tries to escape through the tunnel. It's very dark. She picks up a lantern and moves forward. That's when she realizes that the demons have seen her and are chasing after her. She runs back into the coffin, but suddenly one of the demons jumps on her. It sniffs her blood but does nothing and walks away. This happens because there is blood from her pregnant sister on Azrael's hands. The demon starts thinking that this is the same pregnant woman who is going to give birth to their child. This is a demon's child, so no demon says anything to Azrael, and thus, her life is spared. After this, all the cult members return to their tents. Azrael exits the tent through the tunnel, which she had secretly created from the inside. Now we see that the sister is still in the church, cleaning the wounds on her abdomen, but then Josephine arrives and helps her. They soon discover that a tent outside has caught fire. This is the same tent where Josephine's mother was. Shortly after, the fire spreads to other tents, and all the tents burn down. Then we find out that it was Azrael who set the fire. While others are trying to put out the fire, Azrael picks up a gun and starts shooting at people. Azrael's anger has reached its peak, and she is determined to stop at nothing. She even shoots Josephine. She kills many people and slits one person's throat. From there, she goes to the church, where the sister is alone. After reaching the church, a fight breaks out between Azrael and the sister. Despite being pregnant, the sister overpowers Azrael and attacks her. She tries to kill Azrael, but then the sister's condition worsens. It's time for the baby to be born. Now Josephine arrives with a gun, showing that she isn't dead. Josephine had survived. She shoots at Azrael, but Azrael somehow hides. Azrael then attacks Josephine, and their dangerous fight begins. Azrael picks up a large knife and strikes Josephine in the neck, killing her on the spot. After that, Azrael moves toward the sister. The sister has given birth to the baby, but she is even more terrified. She is now scared of the baby. She picks up a knife and slashes her own throat, dying instantly. Azrael moves forward to look at the baby. She picks up the baby in her arms. Now many demons appear. We also see the face of the baby, which is not human but resembles a goat. Its face is terrifying. Now all the demons stand in front of Azrael, but they don't say anything. They believe that this baby is their savior, and Azrael is the mother of this savior. Therefore, they have no courage to speak to her. All the demons seeing this scene are very happy and bow down to Azrael. Seeing this, Azrael realizes how important she is to them as the savior is in her arms, and they believe that the baby is hers. They think I'm his mother, she thought. Looking closely at the baby, she felt that through this child, she now has a power that she can use to rule over these demons, control them, and subdue them. Those who once wanted to kill Azrael will now always be her slaves. This is how the movie ends. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Take care of yourself.